Controlling the weather, this is the blue dream of humanity. Directing rain to a place where drought has reigned for a long time, or, conversely, making it leave those places where it pours for days on end, is not an easy task for us. It is one thing to disperse the clouds before the festive parade so that precipitation does not spoil the event, and quite another, day after day, to manage all the air masses, to keep in your hands the intangible tons of evaporated water and strong winds. And it is not surprising that such a desire possesses the minds of many scientists, including Chinese. Why is it so hard? It is important to say right away that the main problem of controlling precipitation and winds lies in the complexity and multi-level mechanisms of the mechanisms that are responsible for the establishment of a particular weather. A simple example: in order for clouds to appear, suitable conditions are necessary, such as sufficient heat, high humidity, lack of precipitation. The reasons why it rains, although always approximately the same, are very difficult to form artificially. If a person affects, for example, the pressure at some particular point on the earth, lowering it and thereby increasing the likelihood of precipitation, then nature can respond to this in a variety of reactions. From expected rain to the most incredible things, unnatural interference is not always consistent with the usual course of things. It is clear that nature itself does not provide resources equally to all territories. There is no principle of justice and equality, but the established order can be violated by a person, and very soon China will work in the zone of climate weapon. What are the Chinese up to? While the idea looks very vague, but this does not seem to make it less dangerous. China's State Council has said that new technologies will enable them to achieve a suitable level of development in terms of weather by 2025. They are going to cover an area of 5.5 million square kilometers, converting them to artificial precipitation. True, it is difficult to say exactly how it will work, but their project is already ready. Climate control at the country level will help to cope not only with drought or excessive precipitation, but also to solve the problem of fires, as well as to increase the yield of fields without the need to involve special equipment. China has already spent $1.3 billion on this and is unlikely to stop there. The relevant circular was issued in early December and after a while caused concern among climatological experts around the world. According to the document, in order to achieve the stated goal, China will actively stimulate research and applied development in the field of weather management. And even 10 years later, by 2035, the country will have to reach an advanced level of development in this area, equal or superior to world leaders, whatever that means. Bloomberg published a cautious analysis of the current situation with an active impact on hydrometeorological processes in China. The fact is that even with the ambitious plans in the circular, China already has the world's largest weather management system. In terms of scope, it has no analogues in the world. Most dangerous, delayed methods of causing rain, snow, or hail can potentially be used as weapons, not only for direct impact on the enemy, but also indirectly, by provoking cloudy rain over its territory and not allowing atmospheric moisture to enter the fields of a geopolitical competitor. The article provides a variety of sources showing the extent of China's weather modification infrastructure. In 2015, hail and precipitation control programs were in place in all regions of mainland China. The total number of employees involved for this is currently more than 35,000 people. The exact amount of funding for such programs is unknown, only fragmentary information gets to the press. For example, in 2017, it was reported that the government spent about $176 million on cloud seeding to irrigate the southwestern provinces of China. Some projects amaze the imagination with their appearance. They seem to have descended from the pages of dystopian fantasy. More than 500 special burners were installed on mountain slopes in the Tibet Autonomous Region in 2018. Developed by China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, the devices are designed to spray silver iodide over large areas. According to the results of the experiment, scientists concluded that in this way it is possible to increase the amount of precipitation in the surrounding regions by 10 billion cubic meters. Weather management activities become visible to the general public, usually ahead of major celebrations at holidays or international events. In fact, an active influence on hydrometeorological processes is ongoing throughout China. And every year it goes on more and more intensively in response to global climate change. Bloomberg experts understand that force China to limit its ambitions in this area will be impossible, but urge to seek compromises. In particular, they suggest finding a way interaction of other states with Celestial within which specialized services will exchange data in real time. This is especially true against a backdrop of growing concern among climatologists and meteorologists around the world about global warming. Such international cooperation will allow avoid large-scale negative consequences and help to exchange technologies and keep the most dangerous ones under control. What does this mean for us? The simplest logical option assumes that China is unlikely to succeed in this matter. If someone who will suffer from attempts to make adjustments to the Meteo forecast for tomorrow, then only they themselves. The United States are much more wary of application of climate change tools. And the experience of dispersing clouds during a parade in Moscow shows all the ambiguity these processes. We must not forget, and the possibility of applying methods weather control as a weapon. How example, during the Vietnam War, the American Army carried out an Operation Pape, in which during the rainy season in the clouds were sprayed with silver iodide. This led to exceeding the norm of precipitation 3 times. Resulting in blurred the famous Ho Chi Minh Trail, and agricultural land received serious damage. Such an experience makes specialists and ordinary citizens watch any attempts manipulating the climate with caution. However, if China can achieve assigned tasks, then in this Russia will be particularly hard hit by the fight, and India. Both are on the border with this country. If they succeed, the first will be the lack of precipitation. Due to this, nearby areas can turn into deserts. Mainly Chinese are going to use seeding clouds, let's say spray iodide silver from the ground and from the air in order to make it rain. Thus prevent flooding by milking clouds in advance. Stimulate rural farming, fighting forest fires, and just the heat. Sounds like a wonderful dream from science fiction novel. In fact, the best endeavors of this global scale can always unexpected side effects. However, no one is particularly about them thinks about it. All their problems are enough, except India. When some major planning install a jacuzzi in a regular panel home, who starts to tense up first? Of course, a neighbor from below. By the way, these 2 neighbors on the planet cannot sharing your communal apartment is already enough for a long time. Northern border that India has passes over land, it is her long time and painful point. The matter is complicated by the fact that the border stretches across the alpine regions, especially famous for their terrible roads. One cell can bear fruit years of efforts to cut down cliff trail for military distillation technology. And it happens all the time. Indians are generally used to the forces of nature put up. But then it turns out that their restless neighbor who every now and then strives to cut off on top of India another village proclaims that he can now manage the rains. And therefore sat down, avalanches, mountain floods and other primordial enemies of Indian military on the highland border. For India it all sounds like real military threats. However, an even more frightening prospect for downstairs neighbors is China's intervention in natural transport of moisture in the atmosphere. Global climate change has already led to the fact that Indian monsoon rains became absolutely unpredictable. If they stop quite, most of India is inevitable turn into a desert. No less acute there is a question of manipulating the rains in Chinese mountains. Because that's where they take the beginning of the main Indian rivers. Amazing subtropical climate most of the territory of India. It is several months of rains that fill the wells and complete drought in all the rest of the time. It is known that from 2012 to 2017 China has invested about as much as $34 billion of its climate control systems. And by the assurances of Chinese scholars, they already are getting results now. For example, in the Xinjiang region it was possible to reduce the amount by 70% hail every year. Huge bonuses for agriculture. All in all, Russia of his penthouse remains only with curiosity and some danger of looking from below at neighbor's jacuzzi. Russian experience of dispersing rains so far limited to experiments on May 9th. That's all, friends. If you like this video, definitely share with friends and family. Like and of course subscribe to the Mood Flow channel. See you.